Hello, and thank you for joining me in this first video. The goal of this project isn't to do lots of maths and English with your child, but to instead create a project with them into which maths and English can be woven. What I've learnt over the last 20 odd years is that if a child is relaxed and enjoying themselves, they're more likely to learn. And the more senses we use when we're learning, the more likely it is to stimulate learning. But if you do something, you create a memory. If you do a couple of things related to that initial thing, you create multiple memories. And the more memories you learn, the more memories you create, the more likely it is that your brain's going to be able to recall the information at a later date. So by doing projects like this, you're being creative, you're using different senses. Your child is hopefully relaxed and you're doing different things related to one subject. So hopefully, as a consequence, your child will look back and remember it, and they might be able to use this as a trigger for remembering certain facts. For example, in here we've got links to the 8 times tables or links to writing poems. But before we go any further, before we actually get started, please let me introduce myself. Just over 20 years ago, I plucked up all my courage and went into the playgroup where my oldest daughter Clara was, and asked if I could do voluntary work there while I studied for a diploma in preschool practice. And Mary, the lady who managed the setting, agreed, and within a couple of weeks they offered me the job of Senko and asked me if I'd also be willing to do the policies and planning for the setting. I don't think at the time it was so much a compliment. I think it was more a fact that no one else wanted to do it. But over the coming years, I worked in a whole range of different settings. And when Clara started juniors, I thought she could be mildly dyslexic. So I got in touch with the school and said this was what I thought. And she's mid-20s now, and I think attitudes have obviously changed over the time. But their instant reply was, dyslexia is just an excuse for laziness, so I don't think there's a problem. And I didn't have the confidence to fight my corner, so I thought, well, if you're not willing to help her, then I'll do what I can to help her myself. So alongside the degree that I was then studying, having finished the diploma, I learned as much as I could about learning styles and different learning differences. And like I say, one of the key things I learned is that a child needs to be relaxed to learn. And the more relaxed they are, the better the mind state they are to remember, to recall the information that they're given. And if we do something once, we create one memory, do that same thing multiple times, and all we're doing is making that memory stronger. Whereas by doing different things, we create multiple memories. And alongside that, yes, part of this project is about learning, but it's also about having quality time with your child, about having fun, getting messy, and enjoying time together. The ideas I've given you in this project aren't infinitive, obviously. You may come up with loads more ideas, and you could take it on and create loads of different things. This could be a huge, big thing if you wanted it to be. And you could take it off in any direction that you wanted to. For example, I've suggested in here that you make a lighthouse. And then you may want to take out that aspect of it and go, okay, well, let's learn about lighthouses then. And you might go and Google it and find pictures of it and write about it and annotate it and create word games such as Hangman with different words associated to lighthouses, or different places around the country that have a lighthouse. Or you could perhaps thinking off the top of my head, you could perhaps have words associated with lighthouses and then make them into anagrams. The list of ideas which you could potentially do are extensive, but the ones I've given you here are just a few tasters to help you get started. And very often, I think once you've got an idea, it's far easier to build on that. It's just coming up with the initial idea, which is the hard bits. But I really hope you get a lot of fun and your child gets a lot of enjoyment out of this project. And if you have any questions along the way, please do ask. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.